Hey guys and gals, what's up? Michael McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide. I'm going to give you a Lake Fork rundown for the last 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday being October 1st, today being Friday, October 2nd. All right, to the board. Wednesday I didn't actually fish, but I kept some lake level as always for you so we could understand the lake level. The current lake level is 401.37. That's as of today, as of right now. So the lake is dropping half an inch a day. That's normal for this time of year. The lake color, 1 to 2 foot. Lake Fork green in some areas. Kind of looks like it still wants to turn over in others. Man, I'm really not sure. With this crazy, crazy Texas weather, the flooding rain, the last couple of weeks anyways, the 5 inches that we got 2 weeks back and etc. The fresh water in the lake really helped. And it may or may not have actually had the fall turnover, but it brought all of that methane and debris and gases and junk up from the deep. So the turnover is actually when two water columns, two different temperatures of water columns invert. That may not have happened yet. But all the methane gases and all the junk is gone. And the water color it's gorgeous. I love it. Temperatures, the same thing. We're really starting to get near the upper 60s. And 68, 69 degrees is the bass's most preferred temperature. So we're about to really have some very, very happy bass. Unfortunately, these are Florida strain bass. And they don't like cold fronts, and the past 2 days have been ruthless. And I mean, grind your teeth, ruthless. As I said, I didn't fish Wednesday, but when we talked last on Tuesday, I had an awesome day. The numbers weren't real good, but the size was awesome. Sandtone football jig, the big jig, they ate it. Man, yesterday, what a grind for just a handful of small bites. Today, even worse. I fished pretty hard today with my clients trying to figure things out. And I caught one fish at the very end of the day in about 12-foot brush pile on a new bait, something I've never discussed with you before. It's an awesome bait. I most definitely use it. I've tried to keep it a little bit under hat. But I'm going to go ahead and let it out of the bag. In fact, I actually called and ordered 10 bags of it. That's how sure I am of this bait. And I'm going to let you in on it. It's real simple. Wobblehead. This is a Sandtone wobblehead. I use Sandtone products, as you can tell. I talk about them all the time. They're the best. Made right here in the US of A during times when we should be making things right here in the US of A. All right, I don't want anything that says China on it no more. So thank you, Sandtone, for making your product right here in the US of A. Sandtone half-ounce wobblehead. And here's the bait, okay? It's called Reaction. It's made by Reaction Innovation. It's called a Kinky Beaver. I'm sorry that's the name they chose, but it's the name they chose, not me. The Reaction Innovation makes a smallie beaver. They make the big beaver, the full-size beaver. This one is called the Kinky Beaver, okay? Multiple colors, green, pumpkin, magic cross swirl. Remember, anything with red in it. I'm not going to tell you this color. You want to know my favorite color, you're actually going to have to come out on the boat and see it. That's it right there. And it does have a little bit of red in it. Got a little close to the camera here. You can zoom in if you want. You might be able to figure that color out. All right. But anyways, fish it just like a football jig. Dragging it in the shell beds. Now, I throw this on my 12-25, which is more of my worming rod, not the jig rod. It's a MB 7'3" real-time rod, 12-25 McFarland signatures. I'm throwing it on 20-pound fluorocarbon with a Daiwa Tatula 150 7-to-3 gear ratio. Here's the uniqueness about what I do with this bait. All right, there's two things that I really like special about it. Number one, when fishing gets really tough, I love to have baits that have movement without movement, meaning I don't have to pull them. All right, this bait all by itself, because it's a free wobble head, can actually have its own movement. Water displacement can move this. If a fish swims up and pulls up on this, the fins and the motion of the water and the fish pulling up on it can make this bait move. It's not stiff, okay? So we call it movement without movement. It's an incredible action. Second is you can actually just slow roll this, like a spinnerbait on the bottom, and the action is unreal, especially with the kinky beaver. So sometimes Tommy Biffle is the one that really brought about the Biffle bug, and he swims that a lot, slowly bumping and ticking on the bottom. Awesome to do in rocks, even better to do in the shell beds. So get you some of that. Wobblehead, reaction innovation, kinky beaver, give that a try. As far as the fishing now being tough the last couple days, my explanation of it is, hey, that's fishing sometimes. Right now, though, there's a little bit better explanation. We are in what's called a harvester's moon. That means the moon has been rising at 6 p.m. in the evening. It's a full moon as of yesterday, and it's up all night long. It's setting as we're starting to launch and go fishing. Okay? The majors and minors are falling in the windows that we're not on the water. They're falling in the non-daylight hours. Okay, so right now the night bite should be good. The dock bite should be pretty fair. But we're in what we call a harvester's moon. So plants get to grow all night long. And this is when a farmer will tell you, man, he gets the biggest bloom out of his fruits and everything else, whatever he's growing. That last harvest moon is when they pick. Okay, and that is not good. A harvester's moon is a moon all night long, and it's not really good for the daytime bass fishermen. The other thing is we're transitioning. All right, we are coming from summer to fall. Huge temperature differences. 50 degrees this morning. Okay, the backwaters were 70 degrees this morning. It was a 4-degree swing overnight. They warmed right back up throughout the day. But 4 degrees in shallow water, remember, cold water sinks. So any fish that was 2, 3, 4 foot this evening, tonight, if it hits 50 degrees, they're going to feel that cool water and they pull back out. Fish are very much transitioning, moving in, moving back out, adapting and adjusting, transitioning into new areas and new fall patterns. Until they get dialed in, there'll be no patterns, and that's why junk fishing seems to be the way to go. Listen, for those of you guys fishing this weekend, the docks are still good. I haven't been fishing them this week, but the docks are definitely still loaded with fish. Finesse jigs, small power worms, creature baits, the speed craw, Texas rig speed craw, weightless baits like a fluke or a Senko is excellent bait for those docks. Another bait that I want to share with you before I close. A good friend of mine, Casey, shared this with me about 2 weeks ago, and since he was fishing, it was his bite. I didn't want to spill it out at that time. He told me I could, but I didn't want to. You have the McDonald's event, the Sealy event here. I just thought I would pay KC some courtesy, respect, give it a couple weeks before I let it out. But my good friend Casey I think his name Tellis. Thank you, bud, for this. Long and forgotten about bait. You're wondering, what is that big old blob? All right. Well, this right here is a stick, okay, of Lake Fork Tackle Lures Hyper Stick. Okay, this is how they come out of a mold. All right, they're injection mold, and basically they call this a strand or a tick. There's about 20 baits on there at least, maybe a little more, and they just pluck right off and they're ready to go. All right, watermelon red Lake Fork Tackle Lures Hyper Stick, one of the very, very best baits that gets overlooked and forgot about. Okay, this patented segment there makes for a lot of action. You can rig it 2 different ways. You can rig it with the segments this way and it swims like a fish. You can rig it the opposite way and it has more up and down action this way. Another bait that has movement without movement. Meaning I can pitch this up underneath the dock on a shaky head or even a small Nico rig, and it's going to move without me making it move. Movement without movement. Sometimes that catches the heck out of finicky fish that just don't want to open their mouth. All right, so guys, that's the gist of the rundown for the last couple of days, October 1st, October 2nd. I appreciate you guys following and watching so much. I hope that helps you catch fish. A couple more tips for you this fishing this weekend. 10 feet. All right. I normally don't give you that kind of stuff. I want you to come fishing with me to find that out. I do feed you some information. I want to help. I don't spill my guts and give you all the details. But right now, if you're fishing much deeper than 10 feet, 12 feet, you're missing the boat. There is a few fish deep and there's a few fish shallow, but the ones that are catchable are right about 8, 10, 12 feet of water. All right. Again, thank you so much for following. Find my business Facebook page, please. I'm trying to get to 4,000 and I'm getting really close. Go like that page. Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service. Find me on Instagram, The Lake Fork Guide. Like those pages. Really appreciate you so much for following. Comment below. Hit the like button below here. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm Michael McFarland, giving you a Lake Fork rundown for the first couple days of October. 2 half days tomorrow, and I'll see you when I'm finished. Thanks for watching.